A Vine star that had a complex about her gifts, but decided to turn them into her ultimate weapons. But some consider her mouth to be her ultimate weakness. Watch out, this is a Gravure idol with an attitude. In this episode of Otaku Files, we talk about RaMu. Most of us outside of Japan may not be aware of some of the more interesting personalities within the Japanese otaku landscape. So I thought I'd do a little video series and try to shed some light on these individuals. This is Otaku Files. If you're a frequent viewer of this channel, you know I've covered many different kinds of idols in Japan, but regardless of type, there is what many might consider to be a major selling point that all idols share: the fantasy of the ideal girlfriend. Well, for this video, we're going to talk about a Gravure idol who doesn't just break that fantasy, she obliterates it with a sledgehammer.
で、ってやって、シャーって出て、なって、前、後ろ、前、後ろ。
RaMu is actually not just a Gravure idol, but a streamer, YouTuber, and does a host of other things typically celebrity types known as tarento do in Japan. In fact, she originally got well known for doing videos on Vine, and most likely due to that and her other activities, some of her fans apparently didn't even know she did Gravure. But don't misunderstand, RaMu is considered somewhat of a legend in the Japanese Gravure world, winning multiple awards. As a newbie, she was even chosen by Weekly Playboy as the East Yokozuna. That's like one of the highest rankings, by the way. They're not saying she looks like a sumo wrestler. She has pretty much been in every magazine that a Gravure idol could be in. Above all else though, what RaMu is mainly known for is being honest. Brutally honest. Idol or not, as most of you probably know, for the sake of quote-unquote harmony, Japanese society is all about wearing social masks. But then, there's RaMu.
あんなんやられたらもうすぐチンピクすんだろ、君らなんて。私もするもん。チンピク。
RaMu doesn't hide her feelings or hold back her opinions, but rams them down your throat in a kind of loud and non-girly kind of way. Although she does know when to be professional. Apparently. Now, being a Gravure idol, there's obviously a lot of guys that would start taking an interest in RaMu because of her body, and start fantasizing about her being their ideal girlfriend. Apparently, someone even called her agency to check if she had a boyfriend. That's pretty nuts. So, as you might imagine, and as RaMu has also talked about, a lot of those guys have their fantasy bubble burst after they hear her talk. Also, when she streams, she actually doesn't use her weapons that much, which probably frustrates a lot of thirsty fans. RaMu also has her fair share of haters, and has been very open about the negative things people write about her online. For example, comments like the only good thing about her is her chest, or that she's not that attractive. Obviously, those kinds of comments are hurtful, but RaMu takes it in stride, and even uses self-deprecating humor. Gotta be tough if you're going to be an idol. And it definitely hasn't affected how open she is. I mean, she's even said on stream that she's dated. RaMu being praised for being cute is something that goes back all the way to her childhood, although she apparently got used to being called kawaii so much that when someone didn't say it, she would ask her mum why. Had a strong personality from the beginning, it seems. Because of her parents' work, RaMu transferred schools a number of times, but she wasn't just kawaii, she was a good communicator too, and never had issues making friends. Also, from around the time she was in kindergarten, RaMu's hair was actually dyed blonde at her request. This might not sound like a big deal for those of us from the West, but black hair, especially in the context of the Japanese education system, is a sign of conformity and a common school regulation here in Japan. Apparently though, her parents were more on the Yankee side of things, so probably a lot more open-minded in regards to hair color. Her dream when she was in elementary school was actually to be an illustrator or a professor. RaMu's interest in the entertainment world would start from middle school, being influenced by Koyabu Kazutoyo, probably one of the most famous comedians in Japan, and decided that she too wanted to become a comedian slash tarento. She was even looking to enter the comedy school established by Yoshimoto Kogyo called Yoshimoto New Star Creation, commonly called NSC. However, after seeing a comedy event for high schoolers and seeing how good kids close to her age were, RaMu decided to give up, feeling she just couldn't compete. She was really down about it, but thought of a different way to get famous. Through the internet. Yeah, that doesn't sound dangerous at all, does it? RaMu was actually already doing stuff on the internet when she was in middle school, streaming sometimes on Twitcast. But after giving up on NSC, she decided to completely concentrate on net-based activities. More specifically, the short-form video hosting service Vine, which was recommended to her by an acquaintance. Like I mentioned earlier, before Gravure, a lot of people actually got to know RaMu through Vine. In fact, by the time she was in her third year of high school, she had 100,000 followers, with her view count reaching 1 billion views. She was even known overseas. And looking through her Vine videos now, it's definitely not hard to understand how she got so popular. RaMu even managed to join the Japanese YouTube production agency called Vaz. But that's not all. An acquaintance she got to know through Vine happened to be an idol group producer, and that producer invited RaMu to be a member of an idol group. Now, around this time, RaMu was starting to think that she had a real chance to be in the Japanese entertainment industry, so she thought being an idol would be pretty beneficial to her and help her practice being in front of people. RaMu would join Kiss B Zero, which is the trainee group of Kiss B. But unfortunately, things didn't really work out. As you could probably tell by now, RaMu is, well, pretty unique and has a personality that some in Japan can find hard to digest, which apparently includes the group's fans. She wasn't big on doing things in a group anyway, and didn't like the group activities outside of practice and actually performing. So RaMu graduated and ended up joining the entertainment agency Magnify Entertainment. So how exactly did she end up doing Gravure? Well, it turns out it was a suggestion from the CEO. Up to that point, she wasn't actually familiar with the world of Gravure. For RaMu, having a large chest was something she was always unhappy about. She used to be in the girls' baseball team in school, but would always use a wrap to try and make her chest look smaller. But she decided to test out the power of her weapons once on Vine by wearing something that accentuated her upper area next to the side of a pool, and lo and behold, the video did really well. So RaMu decided not to hide them anymore, but to use them. And like I mentioned, she was really popular. However, even though she was able to get on TV too, surprisingly her career didn't really take off. Just when RaMu was prepared to work on her speaking skills, the pandemic hit. Oh dear. Even though she pretty much stopped getting any work and was living off her savings for a while, the pandemic proved to be a time of reflection for RaMu and questioning her own identity. In the end, she decided to just do what she wanted, doing various activities that had nothing to do with Gravure, which is probably why some find it hard to pinpoint what RaMu actually does. But she's okay with that, and you can be sure she has a loyal fanbase that will support her regardless of what she does. I'll put some links in the usual place so you can find out what she's up to now. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I actually do know RaMu because of her streaming, but I honestly wasn't aware of all the other things she was involved in, let alone her being a Gravure idol. Her Vine videos are also pretty hilarious. I definitely would have been a fan too if I knew about her around that time. But let me know what you think. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, along with any other suggestions for future videos. I am trying to put in more effort in making videos, so I'd appreciate it if you could follow this channel. But thanks again, guys. Stay safe, take care, peace.